Hey yo, what's up mga ka-otak? This is Autoworks and welcome to my channel. At kung bago ka sa channel ko, please subscribe to this channel. Just click the red button and the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga future uploads ko. And for today's video, we're going to review this Mcfarlane DC Multiverse, the Demon, also known as Etrigan. So for this figure, we're going to talk about the details, the articulation, and a comparison to the previous Etrigan, the classic one. So before we do that, let's go ahead and check the accessories and the box that includes in this figure. And for the box of Etrigan, so as you can see, we have a huge window in the front of the box, and on the side we have a window as well on the top, and we have a backdrop on the back or inside the back of the box, and we also can see the standard Mcfarlane's stand. So ito yung bilog, and here's the other side, the demon, and here's the back, so we can see the artwork for the card, and here's the other cards or other design cards, and there's nothing much but the bottom. And the only accessory that includes in this figure is the sword of Etrigan. So this is a very flimsy weapon. So pero yung kanyang handle is medyo matigas naman, pero for the blade itself is napaka-flimsy niya. And also we're not going to forget the card that includes in this figure. So we have here the card. Let's go ahead and focus the camera. So as you can see, napakaganda. And if you want to read the description in the back, let me go ahead and focus that one. Okay, so if you want to read this, you can pause it right now. Okay, so that's it for the accessories and the box that includes in this figure. Let's now go ahead and check the figure itself. And now we're going to take a closer look on the figure itself. So as you can see, napakaganda ng details. So malayo pa lang, sobrang kitang-kita na natin ng mga detalye ng Etrigan. But let's go ahead and take a closer look. Okay, let's go ahead and focus the camera first and set up the lights. So as you can see, the head and the look of Etrigan is napakaganda ng pagkakasculpt. So medyo makinis lang siya compared dun sa previous na Etrigan figure na lumabas, yung luma na, I think that will be the DC Universe classic Etrigan. So mas medyo makinis lang yung ulo nito at yung face kumpara doon sa luma, and we're going to do a comparison later. But for the other details, so as you can see, so we have here an armored version of Etrigan. So on the chest of Etrigan is may makikita tayo ditong metallic red na I'm not sure kung anong klaseng symbol tong nasa dibdib niya. But we have a metallic red, and also on the belt, so we have here a star emblem na nakabaliktad for the belt of Etrigan. And for the other details, so we have an armor. I think this is a gunmetal, and there's a scalp, and also on the shoulders we have a scalp as well. Medyo mas matingkad lang to compared sa body. So I think this is a gunmetal black and a gunmetal gray. And for the other parts or other armor of Etrigan, so we have a chainmail design. So sa tingin ko mas maganda to kung lalagyan natin siya ng black wash or gray wash para mas lumitaw yung details ng kanyang chainmail. And also on the legs, so we have a chainmail as well. And for the arms, so as you can see, meron tayo itong napakatigas ng spike niya compared dun sa nireview nating Raven Spawn last video. Malambot yung mga spike, but for these spikes is sobrang tigas niya. So hindi siya bendable just like nung kay Raven Spawn. And for the cape of Etrigan, so ito ay napakalambot. So very bendy, and we have texture here. Napakaganda rin ng scalp ng kanyang cape. And here's the back. So we can see here there's the markings on the cape of Etrigan. And as you can see, yung kanyang armor sa front chest is nagko-continue up to the back. So continuous siya, nakadikit. And also for the chainmail, and here's the back. So for this skirt, so we have here a soft skirt as well. Oh, meron tayong chip dito, paint chip. So we have a paint chip on the back of Etrigan. So hindi naman siya makikita, pero meron tayong paint chip sa likod. And here's the front skirt. So malambot din siya, katulad na nasa likod. And we also have two colors. So we have gray and a gunmetal. And we also the metallic red for the circle or oblong for the emblem of the belt. And again, we have an armor here on the legs. Very nice sculpted gunmetal looking. So we have two tones here. So we have gunmetal black and silver for the neat armor. And for the feet, so makikita natin, hindi siya fully covered. So nakalitaw yung kanyang fingers sa kanyang paa. And for the hands and for the face, so wala akong nakikitang shading. So very plain lang siya. Let's focus the camera first. So wala siya masyadong shading for the rest of the skin tone niya. So that's okay. So for the details and for the sculpting of this figure is napakaganda. Sobrang trip na trip ko yung kanyang design. Although mas gusto ko pa rin yung kanyang classic look. And speaking of the classic looks, let's now go ahead and do a comparison for the DC Universe classic Etrigan. Let's go ahead and grab the figure first. Okay, so as you can see, here's the side-by-side comparison of the Etrigan, Mcfarlane, and the DC Multiverse. I'm not sure if this is a Mattel version, but I think this is the DC Universe Classic Etrigan. And as you can see, sobrang tangkad na ating Mcfarlane figure. And for the look, and as you can see, medyo mas malaki yung sculpt na mukha ng ating Classic Etrigan compared sa ating Mcfarlane figure. But for the other details, and I think mas malaki rin yung katawan, mas malapad yung katawan ni Etrigan Classic compared sa naka-armored. So dapat mas malapad yung katawan nitong armored version kasi nga naka-armor siya. But for these figures, so as you can see, and for the classic one, so mapapansin nyo meron siyang black shading, but for the Mcfarlane figure, wala siyang kahit anong shading na makikita nyo. And for the hands as well, so as you can see, just like I mentioned earlier, yung mukha ng ating Etrigans is magkaiba. So medyo mas nakakatakot to at masyado maraming wrinkles. But compared to this one, na mukhang bata pa siguro siya dito kaya ganyan. I'm not sure. But yeah. So that's the side-by-side comparison for our Etrigan Classic look and the armored version of Etrigan. Okay, so that's it for the comparison of these two figures. Let's now do articulation for Etrigan. And for the articulation of Etrigan, let's now do the head. So for the head, he can tilt up. So very minimal lang kanyang tilt up and tilt down, so very minimal lang din. And for the side-by-side motion, we have a huge side-by-side and rotate 360. So for the arms, so he can raise upward up to this high even though meron siyang armor, shoulder armor, kaya niyang tumaas. And I think this is connected to the cape. Yeah, this is connected to the cape. That's why hindi siya naghihinder kahit itaas mo ng todo yung kanyang arms sideward. So that's a nice idea and nice design for the armor for the shoulder. And for the arms, since nakakadikit nga tong shoulder armor niya sa kanyang cape, I think he can do 360 rotation. And that bicep swivel for this figure is wala siya dito, hindi dito yung cut niya, nandito sa may elbow niya. So dito natin siya maro-rotate. So as you can see, sa kanyang elbow. And we have a single jointed elbow as well na kayang, let's check, I think hanggang ganito lang. So very minimal lang yung kanyang rotation or for the bend for the elbow. So I think ito yung sagad niya. Yeah, ito yung pinakasagad niya. And for the hands, so we have a rotation forward and back. So medyo nabitin ako sa kanyang shoulder articulation dahil hindi na niya kaya ma-bend kahit. So ito doon na natin, ito na talaga yung pinaka-bend niya. So very minimal lang yung bend ng kanyang elbow. But for the body, so let's check for the body. So ab crunch for the upper torso, so sobrang minimal lang din. But for lean back kaya niya hanggang ganito. So that's the lean back ng upper torso. For the upper torso as well, we have rotation. So I think meron tayong dumbbell joint connected on the middle. And for the waist or for the lower torso, we have a swivel as well and side-by-side movement. And together with the upper torso and the lower torso, he can crunch forward this far and lean back this far. So for the combination is maganda yung kanyang upper ab crunch or body articulation. But we're going to have a huge gap in this part, especially in the front. And for the legs, he can split this far since itong belt niya sa side is napakalambot. So hindi siya maghihinder kung i-split natin si Etrigan. And for the kick forward, this is the highest that he can kick forward and kick backwards. So very minimal lang din. Again, we don't have a tie cut, but let's check. There's a movement, a minimal movement for side-by-side movement. For the knee, we have a double jointed knee that can bend. I think kaya natin isagad to. Yeah, kaya natin siya isagad this far. So, sagad na sagad yung kanyang bend knee. Okay. So, we don't have a boot rotation or a boot swivel, but this is separated. So, hindi siya nakadikit doon sa mismo kanyang calves, sa kanyang binti. So, separated siya. So, akala natin baka pagkamalan natin siyang boot rotation or boot swivel, but it's not. Naka-separate lang talaga siya, hindi siya nakadikit. And for the feet, we can forward and back and rotate. And we also have a toe articulation. Okay, so for the overall details or for the overall articulation of Etrigan, so the only thing that I have a gripe for this figure or for the articulation of Etrigan is the elbow. Sobrang minimal, halos walang bend ang kanyang elbow. But for the body, for the combination of the upper and lower torso, kaya naman niya mag-crunch forward. So I think that's it for the articulation. Let's now do a size and comparison for Etrigan. And for the size and comparison of Etrigan, let's now check first the height of Etrigan. So for the height of Etrigan, I'm not sure if nakikita nyo, but Etrigan stand tall 7.1 inches si Etrigan. But for the size comparison to the other figures, so again, we're going to compare him to the classic Etrigan. So here the classic Etrigan na mas maliit sa kanya. And we have a Marvel Legends Retro Spider-Man on the other side. And we also have here the Detective 1000 McFarlane Batman. Okay, let's start Batman first. Okay, so for the size comparison, so as you can see, mas maliit ang classic version ni Etrigan. Kahit siguro straight na natin ito, todo natin straight. So there you go. Mas malaki pa rin yung ating McFarlane Etrigan compared to the classic version of Etrigan. And syempre compared to the Marvel Legends figures na 6 point something inches lang, mas maliit talaga sila tignan pag tinabi natin sa lahat sa McFarlane figures. But for Batman, mas matangkad si Batman na konti, or halos same height lang sila ni Batman for their comparison, for their height comparison. So I think the comparison for the height difference for this McFarlane Etrigan is napaka-okay naman. So I'm all good for this comparison, or for the height of Etrigan. And there you have it, mga kawatap. That's our review for this McFarlane DC Multiverse Etrigan the Demon. So for the overall rate, so for me, for the details, for the sculpting of this figure, as usual, for our McFarlane figure, is a very well sculpted figure. For the articulation, so medyo nabitin ako sa articulation ng kanyang elbows. So halos walang movement or halos walang bend yung kanyang elbow. But for the body, for the torso, he can crunch forward naman kahit papano compared to the previous or for the other McFarlane figures. For the legs, okay na okay ako sa legs niya. So I don't have any complaints about the legs. Aside sa medyo loose lang ng onte yung kanyang ankle joint, but that's okay. I think kaya naman natin gawa ng paraan yon. And for size comparison, so okay din yung kanyang height comparison compare sa other figures, especially to the McFarlane figures. So I think for the overall rate of this figure, for me, it's a 9/10. So masyado akong natuwa sa kanyang sculpt, masyado akong in-enjoy yung the details of this figure, or the details of the sculpt for this figure. So I'm going to rate this a 9/10. And there you have it, mga kawatap. That's our review for this McFarlane DC Multiverse Etrigan. So I hope you enjoy watching this video. Please comment down below kung anong tingin nyo, kung mas okay ba tong armor version ni Etrigan or the classic look of Etrigan. And also, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe para sa mga hindi pa nagsusubscribe sa aking channel. And also click the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga future uploads ko, vlogging, reviews, etc. So again, thank you for watching, keep safe, and see you on my next video.